Hello, how are you? This is Teacher Q. I'm making this video actually to help you or assist you on teaching your son or daughter. This is not actually meant to replace your regular face-to-face, but this would still somehow ensure that your son or daughter would still be receiving at least, certain percentage of the competency that's needed for them to be able to finish the school year. I know some of you are not trained for special education approaches, but with these short videos, I hope I would be able to impart short knowledge to you on how you'd be able to handle your son or daughter. Take note, these videos also would be in combination of English or Bisaya. Sometimes maybe Tagalog would be given, but I'd prefer that it would be Taglish or Bisaya English. In this way, we would be able to really deliver what is appropriate for our son or daughter. So thank you. Hello. Today, the first tip that I'm going to give to you is on writing. Most of you think that when you give your son or daughter pencil and paper, then he is expected to write right away. But that's not the case. First and foremost, we need first to determine the handedness of your son or daughter. What is handedness? Handedness is to determine whether your son or daughter is left-handed or right-handed. Now, how would you know that your son or daughter is left-handed or right-handed? So, we would let your son or daughter do certain activities, like do the puzzle. First thing, sometimes if you're really right-handed or left-handed, the first thing that you're going to do is the hand that you usually use is the thing that would determine whether you're right-handed or left-handed. Meaning, if you keep on using your right hand in getting the puzzle pieces and placing them on the puzzle board, meaning your son is right-handed or she is right-handed. But if he or she uses his left hand in getting the puzzles and placing the puzzles on the puzzle board, meaning the child is left-handed. That's one sign. The other sign also is you determine what utensils he's using, or when he's eating, whether he's using the left hand or the right hand for eating. Most likely, if he's using the right hand, then he is right-handed. If he's using the left hand for eating, then he is left-handed. These things are very simple activities. But the other thing that you could also determine is to check also on which hand is much bigger, left hand or the right hand. That could be also determining factor whether the child is left-handed or right-handed. The dominant hand or the hand that he usually uses is the one that's a little bit bigger compared to the hand that is less likely used. That's the one. Or the other simple thing is, if the entire family members in the house are right-handed, then most likely he is right-handed. Or if there's one member or the entire family in the house is left-handed, then most likely he is left-handed. Remember, most people in the world are right-handed. So first, determine the handedness prior to writing. Next is, I'm gonna focus on the writing material. Most people would be asking which one is better, jumbo pencils or regular pencils. But my answer to that one would be depending on the disability of the child. The disability actually would determine what writing material would I use. If it's a physical disability, if the child has problems with the grip, I'd go for jumbo pencils or jumbo crayons. But if the child has not have problems with the grip, like if the disabilities like intellectual disabilities or autism, I just go for regular pencils. I don't really use any other fancy pencil at all. So, but the other thing that I usually or would recommend if the child has behavior problems, let's say he has tendency to hurt his classmates or hurt the teacher, I usually go for gold pencils. What are gold pencils? Gold pencils are smaller pencils. They are used actually from the word golf, GOLF. golf players usually have a small pencil that they use for monitoring their scores. So they're actually small. They have their own, what they call this one, they have their own eraser. They're small. They're small ones. They're actually, I use them because it's for safety. How come it be safe? One, control would be also needed. No, the control of the child when it comes to writing, it's much more needed because he is holding a very small object. So he tries to be patient in how he handles or how he controls the pencil. The other one also is it prevents the child from making it as a stabbing tool. No, sometimes when if it's a behavior problem, the child would use the pencil to hurt you or the person beside him or her. So if it's a golf pencil, most likely the tip would not come out. No, if it's the regular golf pencil, it would not come out. So it prevents the child from using it as a stabbing tool. So this would also help you control the class. Kasi if it's a regular pencil, this one's very long and it would be easy for the child to hit his classmate. Okay, so this one, that's the few reasons actually why I'm very choosy with my writing materials or writing tools. The other one that I also prevent when it comes to holding or using regular pencil is at least the parents would not have problems of purchasing or buying the regular pencil rather than I buy the jumbo size. Then the child has good grip, no problems actually with the grip. Those are the things I have to consider. But of course, if the child has sensory problem, it's another issue you have to consider. But it takes time also to consider what writing material would be appropriate for the child that has sensory issues. So those are that's the other tip that I can give to you when it comes to writing materials. Next, I'll be talking about the grip. The grip is actually how the child holds the pencil. Most likely, some people would not really mind about this one or it would matter for them. But the grip actually plays a very important function. It helps out in the positioning of the child's hand on the paper. Okay, so you have to take note that the standard or acceptable grip is the tripod grip. Tripod because we use three: middle finger, the pointer finger, and the thumb. The thumb should hold or should position the pencil in between, no? Then this one goes this way. So this is the tripod grip. This is the expected grip for writing. Okay? Not this way, not this way, not this way. Okay? So this is the expected. So after handedness, the grip is the one that should be followed. The child should be able to grip the pencil properly. Tripod grip, especially for beginning or for beginners, we allow or we strictly follow the tripod grip. But if, for me, for example, if the child is already 15 years old above and his way of holding the pencil is this way and he can write in this manner, I'd accept it rather than change it because I just want to follow the standard. But if he can write legibly in this manner at the age of 15 above or 15 or above or beyond 15, I'd accept this one. But if he's a beginner or if he's just young, let's say 5, 6 years old or 7 or even until 12 years old, I still try to correct his grip. No, I'll try to check it as much as possible in this form. Okay, so those are the few things that I can share with you on how to help your child for writing. Now, for next tip that I'm going to share for you is actually after handedness, after knowing the writing tools that's needed, after the grip, I usually try to check for shoulder stability. Few people actually, few teachers would check on this one. What is shoulder stability? Shoulder stability is actually checking on because most people think that the control goes to the fingers only when it comes to writing because it's a fine motor activity. But prior to that fine motor activities, you have to check also for the gross motor activity or for the big muscle group, which is normally I check on my students prior to writing. How do I check them? Actually, I just try to encourage the student to push the table or push the chair or push the wall for activities or exercises. Why do I do that one? Shoulder stability is actually needed prior to fine motor activities. So, meaning, some people would ask me, when do you use actually shoulder stability? I use shoulder stability when I do this one. When I'm positioning myself on the table like this, I am actually trying to stabilize myself using my shoulders through my elbows. So, this one encourages, or this one I would be assured that my student is actually, how would I say it, comfortable in terms of his ability to write because his shoulders are very stable. Fine motor would be the function later on the movements. So I go for the shoulder stability. So shoulder stability, so before we actually do writing, we can do, yun nga, push the table, push chair, push the wall, or we can do crawling activities. That's where some of the OTs would actually work on. But for classroom activities, for special education, if you don't have available na other specialists like OTs, or you can do some simple activities. Like, as I said, crawling, or you can even do simple as bouncing the ball. Could be one activity. So, if you have a child who's beginning to write, you can do activities like bouncing the ball, pushing the wall, pushing the chair, pushing the table as an activity. But definitely no pushing of classmates, okay? So, nor pushing of the teacher. So, those are the few things, no, that you have to take note when it comes to writing, okay? Next step, some people would be asking me now what's the appropriate thing prior to writing. Should they write on flat surfaces? Should they write on inclined tables? Should they write on walls or whatsoever? For me, and based on studies also, pre-writing actually happens when the child starts writing on the wall of the houses. Remember, some of our kids, when they hold a pencil or a writing tool, they usually scribble on the walls of our houses. So that's actually start of a pre-writing activity. Pre-writing activity, writing on the walls or in this form, actually also encourages a lot of shoulder stability, also encourages the child to be able to control. Now, even if he does this one, this is still control. Now, if you convert it slowly, he's doing this one already on the table. These are examples of simple, no? The other one that they would be saying is inclined tables. Remember, architects or draftsmen, they usually like to work on inclined tables because this allows them control, or they would be more comfortable in it. So sometimes that's why I encourage parents to just allow their son or daughter to write on the walls. But for you to do that one, maybe just place a bond paper or old calendars on the wall, so that when your child starts to scribble on the wall, do not prevent him or her from writing. So just encourage him or her to write on that on the wall with the bond paper or the old calendar placed or posted on that wall. Then you tell him or her to write on the paper only. Then slowly encourage him or her to write on the paper that's given. Those are the most basic that I could think of when it comes to inside the house activities. Okay.